Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Z Kingdom, a channel where I talk mostly about astrology, astronomy, just really things, ultimately focusing on the details and specifics of things, such as the kind of person that I am, full of creativity. Also on this channel, I will be talking about geography, languages, and cooking, just really artism on the whole. So if this may be the first time you're checking out my channel and you do like this video and subscribe so you never miss a new video. For those of you who have been watching for a while, you do know that I've been off of YouTube for quite a while, and not really any traumatic or any terrible thing that happened, anything like that, but I've just been taking a little bit of a break from I guess all the YouTube drama, not that I even had any YouTube drama anyways, but yeah, so I'm back and I'm here with you guys doing a new video. To be honest, it's been quite a while since I've done any astrology videos, so this video will be an astrology one, also following with a series that I made last year talking about the elements in astrology, and I did not get to finish the water signs, so this is what this video is going to be on, the water signs in astrology. Water signs in astrology are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It is the water element that comes after the air element, which back in the air signs video I did mention that the air signs are the ones that kind of communicate. They are the speakers, they're the talkers, they're the ones who focus on vocabulary and the grammar. They ultimately focus on more of the specifics and just really the understanding of things. I also mentioned that because of their very logical way of thinking, more realistic outlook on life, and more willingness to accept that life just is what it is physically, I guess. They're not as in touch with their emotions as other signs, which in the water signs are the exact opposite. See, the water signs' mode of operation is their emotions, so they move through life and make their decisions in life based on the way they feel. This is ultimately because, being water signs, they are able to feel on such a deep level. Think of compared to the ocean, for example, the ocean is deep. The water signs, they like to swim back and forth between the worlds of fantasy and reality. This can result in them creating their own fantasy in reality. Typically, these signs are able to blow the world down with their imagination. It is their strong and deep intuition with their powerful imagination that gives them the power and the ability to create such things within their real life. That's why you'll see with these signs, they're more in tune with their wisdom, they're more in tune with their intuition, they're more in tune with their emotions, and actually connecting with nature and connecting with the world on a much more spiritual level. This is ultimately because these signs have such a strong connection towards the universe, unlike any other sign. Because of this, you might notice that water signs, physically, emotionally, or mentally, may give off this feeling of suspicion, or just, you might think that they're a little bit unnormal or strange a little bit, or they just give off this vibe that screams unlike this world. Of course, not unlike this world in a negative way, much more in a more pure, in a much more gracious, and in a much more positive way. With these signs, you feel a certain comfortableness with being around them because of the fact that they're so in touch with their emotions. They're able to comfort you, they're able to comfort the people around them, they're able to share their emotions with other people and heal others. That is greatly one of the strongest gifts of these beings. Even though these water signs, they're known for letting their emotions consume them because of how powerful they are, they're also, on the flip side, they're able to really use their emotions to their advantage to help others. Overall, the water signs, you'll see with them, they're always being ripped between two worlds, whether that be reality or fantasy. You even see it within their symbols, sort of, especially with Pisces and Cancer, how it's the two fish and then it's the crab. Crabs, they're creatures that live on both land and water, and fish, in Pisces' case, the fish is symbolizing fantasy and reality. I guess you could say, really, with the water signs, they are symbolizing what the real nature of human really is, I guess. There's one side where you have the spiritual and emotional side, and then it's the other side where you have the real life side, the survival stage, and other things like that, the physical look. The thing is, with these signs, even though they tend to have the most strongest emotions, they are usually they come across as much more calm and well put together on the outside. See, the water signs can create sort of zen and sort of like, magical, watery ocean and captivating feel that all seems so calm on the outside. Almost like they're able to captivate you, or like, just like almost cast a spell on you, or just like make you fall in love with them. But really, it could be suggested that these three signs really have something magical or something pure or captivating about them that really lures people in. When it comes to the water signs, everything must be inward. It is all about the subconscious. It is all about your soul, your spirit, your power that comes from within your emotions and in your feelings. Overall, it can be suggested that when the water signs feel something, they feel it. Like when someone else that they love cries, they feel it. When they cry, they feel it. When they see a puppy being hurt, they feel it. They feel everything. This has to do, again, their connection to the universe, their spiritual connection with the universe. The only downfalls with these water signs is that, you see, because some of the time it's because of their emotions. Like I said, it can consume them. It could kind of blind them from seeing the actual logic and things, because their emotions get in the way 24/7. It's like they're trying to understand the logic and realism and things, but their personal opinions are very heightened because of their emotions, the way they feel about the situation. Yeah, it's all about how they feel. Really, it's a part of them. It's their strongest gift. Suggesting that because these people really focus on how they feel about the situation, really depicts if they almost never listen to the message, or the message just never gets by with them. Overall, with every single interaction of a water sign, any interaction with it, whether it be a tree, nature, human beings, every single time there's this heightened sense of the strong feeling. Just saying, if you end up in relationships with water signs, you reap the reward of a precious soul, to be honest. It's the greatest thing you could have in your life. I'm gonna explain the differences between these three water signs. Cancer. So Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so really, Cancer is referred to as sort of the mother of the zodiac. What I mean by this is that if you want to connect this towards Greek mythology, the moon was represented with the goddess Selene, being known to represent femininity, as well as Venus, but yes, the moon was the opposite of the sun. The sun represented masculinity, the moon represented femininity, as well as fertility. Also, it's well known that in astrology, Cancer does rule the 4th house, which is all about family. As well, Cancer does rule the chest, the breast, and the stomach. In this case, stomach being where we eat our food, of course, and breast being where we got fed from our moms when we were infants. So with all this, it's suggested that Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, meaning it is Cancer that is the nurturer. It is Cancer who wants to take nurturing and emotional action towards things in need of care. So Cancer wants to have care for the animals, wants to have care for humans in need, wants to have care for trees, nature, of all things, everything. If you have a Cancer in your life that loves you deeply, just know that they will be there for you. Honestly, they'll be there for you when you're feeling hurt. They'll be there for you to heal you when you're feeling hurt. They'll be there for you to just make you honestly feel better about yourself, make you have more high self-esteem. They're there to protect you as well. These Cancers, they're protectors. If you have a Cancer as your mom, just know she will be there to protect you. She will be there to fight off anything that comes in your way from success in life. She's gonna be there to push you and to encourage you. Honestly, Cancers make the best mothers. Ultimately, it is Cancer who wants to just give. Cancer is the giver. So they want to give birth to things, I guess you could say, that allow them to care, that allow them to take care of, that allow them to nurture, which is why Cancer moms, they want to have children, they want to make a family. They want to feel that very motherly bond and family-like bond with their children. To be honest, with having a Cancer mom or a Cancer in your family, you feel that. You feel that strong and just untouchable emotional love with family and with motherhood. To be honest, most of the time, it's kind of said that Cancer comes across as the most emotional of all the water signs, which is kind of true because Cancer is cardinal water, so basically means cardinal water is kind of all about like taking action on the emotion. So basically, Cancers, when they feel something, they will act on it. You will know when they feel what they feel. You'll know what they feel. They will not hold back. Like, especially when they feel tears coming up, you'll see it. Waterworks everywhere. They will not hold back their tears. They will cry and they will feel no remorse for it. These crabs, these upset crabs, will throw tantrums. Yes, expect a lot of this. Of course, you have Cancers who are much more calm, of course, but even them, still, that strong emotion. Yeah, they're just holding that back, really. But like, then you have the true Cancers, the ones who really act out. And that's really the real Cancer energy. Not suggesting that Cancers are the ones who are much more chaotically in tune with their emotions, even though, well, to be honest, they're super all over their emotions. They let their emotions consume them most of the time. But more suggesting Cancers, they still have a hold on their emotions. They control the way they feel. And they, depending on the situation, they will control what they feel, when they feel it, and how they feel it, really. This ultimately has to do with the moon's rulership of being able to control when the tides come in and when the tides go out. And not suggesting that whenever someone else tries to make them stop feeling whatever they're feeling, that's when they're gonna stop. No. It's whenever they feel. It's whenever they feel. It is whatever they feel, and it's however they feel. Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is ruled by both Pluto and Mars. So the deal with Scorpio here is that they are able to strengthen and create, but at the same time, they are able to do just as much damage as well. They're able to destroy. It is Scorpio that is the most physically strong of the water signs, and the main objective of Scorpio is to heal and strengthen. Ever heard of that saying, with great power comes great responsibility? That's sort of the mode of operation for Scorpio. It's Scorpio of all the water signs whose emotions are much more on an intense level, on a much more more robust level, if you will. And it's these emotions, especially, that can get out pretty easily for Scorpio, especially if, like, they just let it out for any sort of reason possible because of just how they feel in the situation. You see, unlike Cancer, it's not that Scorpio's emotions are stronger, but more so, it comes out in a much more upfront and a much more dangerous and in a much more intense level. To retract these emotions, Scorpio usually puts on this robust and this much more stern demeanor, sort of like Capricorn in comparison to Capricorn. Scorpio wants to come across as much more in control of their emotions. They want to come across as much more full of them, much more like, just like they have a control of themselves. That's why you'll see with certain interactions you may have with Scorpios, most of the time they come across as calm and zen people who are able to pull you under their spell and are able to captivate you very easily because of their robust and in control nature. But behind all of that self-control, you'll find that there's really just this precious soul really in Scorpios that are kind of like struggling, I guess, a little bit most of the time, that, just feel as if though, well, because their emotions are so intense, they still have to put on this demeanor all the time. The Scorpios, most of the time, they have trouble with letting their emotions out a lot of the times. The thing is, everything is inward. They like to keep it in a lot of the times. It's almost like ice, you know what I mean? Ice. So it's like this iceberg that they just don't want to. That's why most of the time in certain situations they come across as cold, or as rather just, like they don't give a crap about the situation. It's not that Scorpio doesn't care. It's just that Scorpio feels so much for the situation. It's almost like, I guess, they just want to keep it in. They don't even want to let it out. It sounds ridiculous, but like, it is what it is. Thing is, though, if Scorpio learns to transform these feelings, which is what Scorpio is all about, being ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, Scorpio can learn to really strengthen these emotions and use them to strengthen other people, use them to heal other people's emotions. And to be honest, it's mostly usually their inward nature that makes them come across as secretive people most of the time. Scorpio ultimately needs to learn is just really to be their natural and true self. Be magnifying, be the center of attention, I guess you could say. Just really learn to just open up more, learn to, I guess, socialize more, learn to be more with other people. And you are able to express your emotions in the best way possible. You're able to express your emotions in the greatest way with self-control without letting them get out of hand. And let me tell you, it is not cute when a Scorpio feels intense anger emotions. That is just, you do not want to mess with it. Nope, you don't want to mess with it. It is ugly. This is why these beings, they really, really need to get a hold on their emotions because of how intense it is. Last but not least, Pisces. So Pisces is ruled by both Neptune and Jupiter. Jupiter is all about self-growth, whereas Neptune is all about spirituality. So with this, Neptune is focusing more on the strong inward abilities of really spirituality on itself, the psyche, the subconscious. That's what Neptune is focusing on, whereas Jupiter is more so focusing on, how can you advance yourself? How can you, build on your life? How can you make your life more fruitful? Basically, manifestation and philosophy on the whole. These powers together really give Pisces such an amazing power, really a power that is stronger than both Scorpio and Cancer. Without any destruction at all, in comparison to Scorpio, really Pisces, with these sort of powers, they are able to create such beautiful things. Their imagination is full of fruitfulness and, I guess, just beauty. Just like fish, it is Pisces who is able to swim between these two worlds of reality and fantasy. Really, really much so more than Scorpio and Cancer. So I guess you could say that when it really comes to really making your reality a fantasy, Pisces does a pretty magical job. It is Pisces who can help change and influence the emotions of others. This is due to their abundance of wisdom and their abundance of their emotional and spiritual intuition with the universe. It's probably well noting that Pisces is the eldest sign of the zodiac, and it even is said that Pisces has experienced the energy of those before it. So really, I think what this means is that Pisces really understands the universe more than any other sign. Because you see, Pisces has experienced the energy of all 11 signs, even their own. So Pisces really, I guess you could say, has taken little bits of traits and little bits of energy from the rest of the signs. Really, it is Pisces who is the illusionist. It is Pisces who is the reflection, the mirror. Pisces wants to connect on so much spiritual levels of the subconscious within dreams, connecting with others through dreams, through spiritual reality, through spiritual connections, I guess you could say. So overall, it is Pisces who can really heal, and it is Pisces who can really influence and change the emotions of others, seeing the fact that they are able to connect with others through on a much more emotional and much more deeper and spiritual level, much more easier than Cancer or Scorpio. Also, just want to add that I have had a lot of inherited and great Pisces in my life. Probably like Pisces is probably most of my family, and to be honest, they've all just have such a captivating and such an interesting spirit with them, all of them. And the thing is, it's kind of unique within all of them, even though they all have the same sign. But it's like, it's such a precious spirit. It comes with innocence, it comes with wisdom, it comes with just really the sense of spirituality on the whole. And really, I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for having Pisces in my life. Honestly, kudos to you, Pisces. Pisces, you're a beautiful sign. You're such a magical sign. Yeah, guys, that is the end of this video of the water signs. And would you look at that, we completed the entire elements series. Took me long enough to complete the entire series, I must say. But yeah, so glad that we did. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this series, enjoyed this video really. Again, like it, subscribe. Don't forget to comment on what you thought of the video. Share it, of course, to get it to millions of people. Oh God, and yeah, I have a cough. But anyways, I'll see you guys in another video.